What's happening? What's the business? It's your boy Landlord from Alabama, back with another video. And today, man, I want to talk about your number one running back, Zeke Elliott. You know, Zeke the Freak, Mr. Ohio State himself. Will Zeke eat this year in 2022? And that's a big question, man, because we surely need him to. You know, we need him to be able to become the old Zeke. You know, maybe not 2016 prime type Zeke, but we do need a very productive running back in this offense. Outside of Tony Pollard, we need our workhorse running back. And you know, last year he battled and he toughed it out for the team because he was hurt throughout the season. And you know, he stayed there for the team, and you know, he really showed some leadership, toughing it out, you know, being there, showing everybody who he is and what type of character he has, man. Still being a part of this team throughout this injury. But, you know, he kind of struggled last year, man. And, you know, I can't say it's solely on him, but he did suffer statistically last year, man. It wasn't his best year. And, you know, Zeke wants to be one of those ones. He want to be one of the top 5 backs in the league without a doubt. In his rightful place, that's what he should be. But like I say, will Zeke eat in 2022? And in my opinion, it's 3 factors that come into play into this equation, if he will or if he won't. And the first one is Mr. Zeke himself. Will he be healthy? Will he be focused and back on track? Will he be able to, you know, produce like he used to? And for one, of course, he's not as fast and explosive as he was in his earlier years, but I think Zeke's still pretty good, man. He's still one of the better backs. He's still better than average. So he should be able to, you know, sustain some decent production throughout this year. But, you know, one of the factors is him himself, you know, and see, can he overcome some of the other things that hindered him last year? And the second factor, in my opinion, is Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore. Are they going to give him the opportunities and give him the carries and the touches to be able to become one of those top 5 backs like he used to be? Because last year, you know, that's a West Coast type offense, or even a West Coast mentality coming from Mike McCarthy. So soon as the run don't work, they abandon it. They abort mission. They are trying to get rid of it. They want to throw the ball instantly. If the run don't produce early, look for Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore to throw the ball all over the park. They don't play about sticking it out, even though they should be more patient, but they just don't for some reason. I don't understand. But when we run the ball, we are one of the most dominant teams statistically, and when it comes to wins, I think that it's like a astronomical type stat. Like, we like 30-0 when we rush for like over 100 yards. Like, we rarely lose when we produce on the ground, but teams got wind of that, and I believe that Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy gonna have to find a way to produce a dominant run game, a run attack to some of these defenses, man. They wasn't even playing the run last year, and we still couldn't run. Like, they was playing the coverage. They was having 7 men drop back and stopping Dak and making it difficult for this passing attack. They was leaving that box open for Zeke and Tony. They were still struggling to produce a consistent running game. So that speaks volumes to one of our problems. And, you know, we was basically playing with one arm behind our back. Teams knew that we couldn't run, and they knew that we wanted to throw. So what they did, drop back most people back in coverage. You know what I'm saying? They dropping 7 back in coverage, trying to stop Dak, Zeke, and CD and Coop now from killing them in the passing game. They just disregarded the run game. So the second factor is the scheme. Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy, y'all gonna have to be more patient with the running game and get more creative as well. And the third factor is, in my opinion, is of course the offensive line play. In 2016, he had one of the better lines in the league, probably the best line in the league. And you know, this line been going downhill ever since then. And now it's a pretty young line, for the most part, you know, we still got Ty Smith. Even though he's like old in football years, he's just only 30 years old. But we got a rookie at center, Tyler Biadasz. He's a very young player. Then we had Connor Williams, Mr. Penalty Hold'em called himself. He's gone. We just had a lot of struggle going into making these holes for these running backs. So the line play struggled big time last year when it came to producing some holes for these running backs to exploit like that, man. So hopefully we can pick up us a left tackle or a center or a guard. We need all those players, honestly. Like Ty Smith getting long in the tooth. He probably got 2 or 3 more years, maybe 2, and he might be ready to hang it up. So our whole offensive line was basically in shambles outside of Zach Martin, and the play really went down last year. So that's gonna hurt any running back. I don't care if you're Derrick Henry. You're gonna suffer if your line play is average or below average as ours was, and running game and in the passing game last year. The offensive line just wasn't that great last year by any stretch of the imagination. So with those 3 factors, man, a lot of people, the casual fans, just gonna dog out Zeke and think it's all Zeke, but it's really not just him. It's a lot of different factors that come into play, but you know, he's gonna be the one who gets all the credit and the glory when he do succeed, and you know, casual fans are gonna point him out when he don't. So hopefully I can see Zeke doing better if we draft well when it comes to this offensive line. Maybe get some veteran linemen in here or something, but we do need to improve on this offensive line big time. Like, that's the biggest needs that we got. I know the sexy needs is wide receiver and all these other positions, but we need a guard very bad. We need a right tackle, really. We need a center, maybe. We don't know how safe Tyler Biadasz is because he just didn't play that great at the beginning of the season. He started getting better down the stretch, but we need much better play from the center position and from that guard position that Connor Williams was at. Like, Connor Williams killed a lot of drives last year. Our offensive line was in shambles most of the year last year, man. So that's the biggest holes we got. That's what's gonna come into play when it comes to Zeke making a bounce back type season in 2022. But that's all I got for you today, man. Holla at your boy Landlord from Alabama on all social media, man, with the same handle. And like I say, 1K, 1 love, Cowboys Nation. Let's go.